When we think about beer trends, we don't have to look too far back into pop culture to remember when our selections for beer were a few bottles and a couple of drafts. Beer was a working-class man's drink, or at least that was the stereotype. In the last decade or so, beer has really started to come into its own, with local breweries popping up in different cities across the country. The idea of beer as a culinary centerpiece is evidenced in the new trend of beer dinners. Multiple courses are paired with different brews. Restaurant and brewery owner Darwin Santa Maria has hosted his share of beer dinners.
You have a good food and a good beer, and the next is just incredible. Mixing the two things together, you make magic with it. And as a chef and brewer, I just love mixing those two things together and come up with a great craft beer and come up with a great food.
Gone are the days where old wives' tales warned you of mixing beer and liquor. Many restaurants and bars are now including beer cocktails in their menu. This new appreciation for craft beer also satisfies another trend among foodies.
There's been a movement towards locally sourced foods. You see it with produce, you see it with restaurants doing locally sourced. And beer is one of those things that you can do actually locally sourced. We have 4 breweries here in Sarasota that are making their own brews. They got their own flavors. It complements the food that restaurants might be serving. They're distributing it locally. They've got their own interesting local names that bring in a connection to the community.
Regardless the reason, beer is certainly coming into its own these days, but some may argue that we're just a little bit behind. After all, it was Ben Franklin, one of our founding fathers, who said, "Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy." I'll drink to that. Cheers.